So to far north Queensland now, where many roads are still blocked in from landslides. Some of the pictures coming out of there are extraordinary. Air and sea's the only way to get into Port Douglas from Cairns. Many of us have driven that highway. Pictures taken by Sky today show the road has been hit by landslides and boulders. Homes have been washed away, while 35 areas still remain isolated. Now, authorities are working to evacuate people who are cut off by floodwaters. Let's bring in Sky News weather presenter Rhianna Elston. She has been up in that region today. Rhianna, some of the pictures you've shown us today are incredible, and some of the people up there that we've seen on Sky today, they say they feel like they've been abandoned.
Yeah, they certainly do. I'm here in the small community of Mossman, where we're starting to get a picture of the true extent of the damage here. Now, residents have described what happened here on Sunday as like a wall of water that first rushed through the main street, where it inundated many businesses that now have to be closed just days before Christmas. And then the water came through here, this residential area. Now, this is one of the hardest hit streets. And just have a look what you'd see on the verge there. People's entire lives have been brought outside on the street. We've got white goods, children's toys, Christmas trees, furniture, people's beds. Some people in this community, they really have lost everything. Now, what we've been told is that there really wasn't much notice before the flood hit. Some people who've lived here for decades say they've never seen anything like this before, a flood event on this scale. And as you said, some people do feel abandoned by the authorities.
Half the businesses have already closed. The Mossman mill, this is enough just to devastate it, and probably Mossman will never recover.
That's what police are supposed to do, give us some hope. So I say to Albo, I say to the new Premier, come up here, meet the people in Mossman.
And we got severe flooding down there, and it was coming up at the back of the house and the front of the house. In the dark, what can you do? It's quite scary because you can't stop it. It's sort of like a monster.
Now all we've been doing is scraping that mud and cleaning. On our hands and knees scrubbing the floors, trying to get all the mud out now.
Rhiannon, Mossman's north of Port Douglas. How did you actually get up there?
Yeah, we came up here by helicopter because the main highway between Cairns and Port Douglas is completely cut off. It's likely to be closed for weeks. And what we saw as we made that journey is really the extent of the damage to that highway. It was significant, ripped apart in multiple areas, landslides across it, and the road just swept away. So that is going to be a huge undertaking. That road is a vital lifeline to these communities here in Far North Queensland. It's the way in and out, bringing essential supplies such as food and water. So communities right across the far north, we're talking some 40,000 people now running low on those critical supplies. So it really is an unfolding crisis situation. Now, there is a back road that has reopened today. People are able to get in and out by boat, but that highway is really a crucial piece of getting these communities back on their feet.
Yeah, especially, Rhiannon, when you consider as a tourist, and, you know, I've been to Port Douglas a couple of times, you leave the Cairns airport and you drive to Port Douglas on that James Cook Highway. You can go up through the Atherton Tableland and back down through Mareeba, but that's a several-hour detour, and tourists are probably going to be unwilling to do that. But that might be the only way they're going to get food and supplies into that spot.
Yeah, it could be. And what we're hearing is that backway did reopen today, but it sounds like it's still pretty ropey. There were landslides across that road as well. It goes up into the hills. It's not really very suitable for trucks and major supplies to get through. So what we're still seeing are those supplies being dropped in by people like the Army to some of those harder hit communities.
Just finally, there were politicians there today. We saw Murray Watt. We saw, I think the Prime Minister himself might be coming to Mossman tomorrow. And you had the new Queensland Premier, Stephen Miles, there as well. Do you get the general feeling from the locals you spoke to that they want to see political leaders there because they feel that showing what you've seen is going to maybe quicken up some of the relief that's going to come flowing out of Canberra and Brisbane?
Yeah, people in this community definitely want to see the leaders visiting so they can tell them what has happened here and the scale of the damage and what lies next for them, which is weeks, if not months, of cleanup and a huge bill to pay.
Great to speak to you. Good luck getting up there, and thank you. And we'll see you again tomorrow with the latest. That's Rhianna Elston there.